Without a doubt, when the couple, Shi Ling and his wife, passed by with Shi Hao, they attracted the attention of everyone. Many people shouted loudly, and all eyes focused on them, making them the center of attention. The crowd swarmed forward, eager to see what the young man with two immortal bones looked like and what made him extraordinary. Shi Hao was a talented and handsome figure, dressed in a sparkling silver robe, radiating brilliance like a young deity reincarnated. With extraordinary temperament. This is Shi Hao, a natural supreme talent destined to rise in this battle and become one of the most powerful geniuses of this era. He was dazzling, standing on the chariot as it passed by, sparking discussions among the people. Some young girls even screamed and crowded forward, wanting to get a closer look. What an extraordinary young supreme, with a steady demeanor and an aura of being unmatched by others. Many people admired him. Having two immortal bones. Although he hadn't achieved any great accomplishments yet, it was clear to everyone that he was destined for unparalleled glory in his life. Along the way, everyone craned their necks, all focusing on the young man on the chariot, as he was truly extraordinary, capturing the attention of everyone. Even Shi Ling and his wife became the focus of attention, proud of having such an outstanding child with talent that overshadowed others. They naturally became popular figures of discussion. The chariot glowed with mysterious runes, and Shi Hao stood on it, looking radiant. Shi Ling and his wife looked at Shi Hao with fondness, smiling with pride. Their youngest son was indeed extraordinary, drawing the attention of so many people, which made them pleased. I'm looking forward to seeing the power of the two immortal bones. Just how strong can he be, we will soon find out. In the first generation battle, he is destined to create the most brilliant sparks of collision. The resplendent chariot moved away, but people kept talking about it. In the background, Shi Hao silently observed, standing alone in a corner, unnoticed and ignored, as he searched for his grandfather. Although he had seen his parents, he couldn't reveal his identity, otherwise, the immortal palace and the heavenly kingdom might even make a move against him, even in the unaging mountain. Grandfather, where are you? Shi Hao whispered, searching among the crowd. Scanning through many people. He knew that his grandfather might have really come because the old man was sentimental and hoped to see his descendants, and the only relatives he had in the upper realm. Shi Hao was very worried, fearing that his grandfather might reveal a flaw and be discovered by others. He searched the crowd with anguish, believing that his grandfather was probably like him, silently watching his loved ones from a distance. However, there were too many people in the ancient city, bustling with activity. Even the skies were filled with many divine birds and fierce beasts, making it difficult to find him. This was a grand event. Many renowned sects and schools received invitations, all being great forces that shook the entire state. Numerous extraordinary figures arrived, making the city incredibly lively. The streets were filled with people, cheering and discussing the constant arrivals of the first generation and prodigies, who descended from the heavens, causing a great sensation. This is the young supreme of the Golden Phoenix clan. His figure is grand, with golden runes like armor on his body. His phoenix eyes are as bright as lightning, and his aura is awe-inspiring, so powerful that a Yangzi from the Yin Yang Academy has also come. As the legends say, he possesses the Yang physique, with the Yang energy soaring to the heavens. Truly remarkable. One after another, brilliant and stunning figures caught everyone's attention. Each young genius's life was destined to be extremely glorious. Standing amidst the crowd, Shi Hao calmly looked at one exceptional figure after another, without being as emotionally excited as most people. Unfortunately, he still hadn't found his grandfather's figure, unable to find any clues. Shi Hao didn't know whether to be glad or disappointed. Not seeing his grandfather meant that the hunters from the heavenly kingdom would find it challenging to make a move, but in this way, when would they be able to meet again? Grandfather must have come. I wonder if he's feeling well now. I must see him. Shi Hao murmured to himself, never giving up as he searched throughout the entire city. 5 days later, most of the expected guests had arrived, a gathering of exceptional talents, all the most dazzling figures from different states. As the time for the opening of the primordial heaven's secret realm approached, everything was in a rush, and the grand event was about to unfold. During these days, whether it was inns or taverns, they were all incredibly crowded. There were too many cultivators who came, and the whole city was not enough to accommodate them all. In the vicinity of the city, some remote towns were also filled with people, eager to witness this grand event and take a look. Moreover, many people were itching to participate actively rather than just being spectators. They wanted to enter the secret realm and try their luck to gain some opportunities. However, obtaining qualifications to enter the primordial heaven's secret realm was not an easy task. Even though this was a small-scale event called a friendly competition, the invited participants were all geniuses from different states. It was not easy for ordinary people to participate. To make the event more lively, the unaging mountain didn't completely seal the gates. Besides the invited participants, it was rumored that 400 or even 500 more people from the outside world were allowed to enter. However, entering the primordial heaven's secret realm meant having the chance to obtain ancient supreme blood, divine medicine, and legacies. Naturally, they couldn't let too many outsiders enter. This secret realm belonged to the 5 elements state. And only the major sects and schools of the state could dispatch a large number of disciples inside. During these few days, the various sects were negotiating to decide how many disciples could enter and set the rules and tests. Only those who met the requirements had a chance. I must go in. Picking some holy medicines and other opportunities is secondary. Mainly, I want to witness the grand battle of the first generation. I can't miss it, a young expert said. Highly excited, feeling that this was a rare opportunity. Some nodded in agreement, saying, "Do you really think it's a good place inside? It's the remnants of the Supreme Nirvana's failure, destined to be dangerous. Although there are special laws that restrict the entry of masters into it, it's still perilous. It's said that there are fierce beasts and ferocious birds capable of igniting divine fire. The so-called secret realm is like a small world with various powerful creatures within it." Others muttered to themselves, saying, "I'm going in for the ancient true blood and the forbidden inheritance. If I can obtain them, I'll soar to the sky." Most people had such thoughts as they believed there were many opportunities in the primordial heaven's secret realm. Acquiring any of them could completely change their life trajectory. However, they also knew that competing for these divine items would be very dangerous and life-threatening. At the very least, the young supremes and godly maidens were all aiming to obtain them. If one were to confront them without sufficient strength, it would undoubtedly result in death. When the time comes, we should avoid conflicts and not engage with them. They eat the meat, and we should be satisfied with just the soup, some people consoled themselves. Of course, there were also many ambitious individuals carrying super divine tools, eager to make a move and seize any shocking opportunities they might find. During these days, people discussed and argued excitedly. The atmosphere was heated and lively. Shi Hao had been searching, wanting to see his grandfather, but he couldn't find any trace or clue, causing him to worry. Ever since he spread the rumors about the unaging mountain and fueled the fire, many people were talking about it. He believed that his grandfather must have been cautious. And probably chose not to show up because of this. There's a clue. Walking through the giant city, Shi Hao secretly used his heavy pupils and saw the radiant angel, causing his heart to shudder. This hunter was a dangerous individual. I'll get rid of him. This was Shi Hao's decision, intending to give the heavenly kingdom a bloody lesson. However, he didn't dare to act rashly. After all, this was the primordial heaven city, and many powerful figures had come. Once he made a move, it was highly likely that masters would intervene. The emperor butterfly fluttered, emitting a faint light, and sending out ripples of spiritual sense. This attracted several ordinary butterflies and bees. Not long after, a few common butterflies and bees entered the residence. These were just ordinary insects and could be found everywhere in the flower garden. Half a day later, several bees and butterflies flew out one after another. The radiant angel didn't find my grandfather. And his expression was gloomy. He wants those highly talented youths from the heavenly kingdom to enter the secret realm. Shi Hao was astonished. He didn't disturb the snake and didn't reveal himself. The fact that the radiant angel didn't discover the 15th Lord was already excellent news. Great news. After negotiations with the various sects, the unaging mountain has decided to allow 3,000 outsiders to compete for entry into the secret realm. This news caused an uproar, greatly shocking everyone. No one could believe that there were so many spots available, far exceeding expectations, leaving everyone speechless. To actually offer so many spots at once, it's inconceivable. Truly generous of the unaging mountain, a truly immortal tradition. I think the unaging mountain must have paid a considerable price to convince the various sects of the five element state. They deserve their immortal heritage for making such a grand gesture. Many people praised the decision, feeling excited and encouraged. More spots meant more opportunities, and many young powerhouses wanted to enter. However, some people sneered and didn't think highly of it. You're all too naive and don't understand the inside story. The Qin clan is not some kind of benevolent sage who saves the suffering. How could they be so selfless? The secret realm is full of dangers, with various godly insects, ferocious birds, and many dangerous places. Allowing so many people to enter is just to attract the attention of those ferocious spirits inside. In other words, this is to divert the attention of those venomous insects and fierce beasts and offer them some blood food. Even if more people enter, can they compete with the first generation? It's impossible for them to vie for opportunities against them. Only a few people whispered like this, afraid to speak loudly, as they might bring trouble from the unaging mountain. Soon, the selection and trials were about to begin to decide the 3,000 spots. Shi Hao stood among the crowd, calmly observing. Hey! Suddenly, he saw someone. For some unknown reason, he felt a resonance, an indescribable feeling. He trembled as he whispered, "Is it grandfather? He's going to enter the secret realm." It was an instinct, a natural closeness, similar to the feeling he had on the Devil Island. Shi Hao's heart trembled, filled with excitement. This was not a recognition based on appearance, it was a bloodline connection, a faint familiarity that made him feel connected to the person, giving him a throbbing sensation. Shi Hao was anxious, unsure if he had recognized the person correctly. After all, this cultivator was very young, appearing to be only in his 20s or 30s, and far from being old. He was full of vitality, clearly a young man. And his appearance was different from the 15th Lord's. Is it grandfather? He wondered. He took out the heavy pupils but still couldn't see through him, the person hadn't revealed his true form. Why do I feel like he resembles my grandfather? There's a sense of bloodline affinity, Shi Hao murmured to himself, his heart unable to calm down. However, he couldn't reveal his feelings in front of so many people. He stood at a distance, observing the person with the heavy pupils. He noticed that the man's eyes occasionally appeared deep, carrying a trace of desolation. This subtle change could only be captured by staring through the heavy pupils for a long time. Silently, Shi Hao concealed his aura using the original true technique, making it impossible for anyone to detect him. He appeared ordinary and quietly observed the person he suspected to be his grandfather. After a while, he noticed the person casually glancing towards the crowd from not old mountain. As if searching for something. This stirred Shi Hao's heart, could it really be his grandfather? Perhaps his grandfather couldn't bear to let go of the emotional attachment and decided to come, to see Shi Hao and the others. Shi Hao understood the intentions of his grandfather, who wanted to observe him from the shadows while silently attempting to enter the secret realm. Grandfather. Shi Hao felt a pang of heartache for him. His grandfather had indeed registered to compete for the 3,000 slots to enter the secret realm, likely wanting a chance to be alone with Shi Hao. Shi Hao speculated on his grandfather's feelings and gradually understood. His grandfather was deeply emotional, but he didn't want any further involvement with not old mountain. He only wished to secretly observe Shi Hao and see how he fared, intending to enter the secret realm without attracting attention. Is it really my grandfather? Shi Hao pondered carefully, comparing the clues in his mind. He felt about 70% certain that the person was indeed his grandfather. He guessed his grandfather's emotions and gradually comprehended. The 15th Lord cherished his emotions, but he didn't want to have any further connections with not old mountain. He only wished to secretly observe how his grandson was doing and intended to enter the secret realm quietly. He's really my grandfather. Shi Hao felt a touch of sadness for him. The 15th Lord had actually registered to compete, wanting to enter the secret realm. As for the matter of his severed arm, it was the only aspect that didn't make sense, as it differed greatly from his grandfather's characteristics. However, Shi Hao remembered his grandfather's words about obtaining a certain rune from the demon lord's true blood. Could it be related to this? Regardless of the reason, this young man would hardly attract anyone's attention. The Qin clan and even the Light Angel would never suspect that he was the 15th Lord. After a brief hesitation, Shi Hao stepped forward to register as well. He also wanted to enter the secret realm and meet this young man, whom he was increasingly convinced to be his grandfather. Outside the city, the open space was crowded with people, a vast sea of heads. It was impossible to determine the number of living beings present. Various sects worked together to maintain order. Eventually, the participants were divided into groups, and each group would have nearly 10,000 people. In the end, there were about 60 to 70 groups, which surprised everyone. The number of registered participants was incredibly high. I'll say it again, those over 100 years old should not register, and those who have ignited the divine flame should also withdraw. Don't waste each other's time. A majestic voice echoed, and the gaze of a dignified leader swept over the crowd like an imposing mountain, causing people to feel suffocated. The secret realm had its own special rules, and only those who ignited the divine flame were allowed to enter. However, the number of slots was limited, and not old mountain and other major sects would not give these slots to outsiders. The selection competition began.